Howdy do, folks. Welcome back. Final theme stream. Give me a moment and I will be right with you. I need to take care of something. It's kind of urgent. So just please bear with me and I'll be right with you. So- Oh, sorry about that, folks. It seems that there was a little bit of a problem on X that needed addressing, and before I get before I got going, it needed to be addressed. So, welcome back, everybody. It is the episode 47 theme stream, Horror Thoughts, Paranormal Horror. Now, folks, I'm telling you right now, paranormal horror happens to be one of the types of horror that scares me the most. Yeah, paranormal horror is the type that scares me the most. And here's why. Because while there's a lot of fiction out there with the paranormal horror movies, let me bring up the thingies here. Movies like The Exorcist, Paranormal Activity, Exorcism of Emily Rose, The Rite. These two movies, Exorcism of Emily Rose and The Rite, were actually based on true stories. The Conjuring, based on a true story loosely. Annabelle, loosely based on a true story. The Nun, pure fiction. Poltergeist, I believe that was not based on a true story. However, I could be wrong. But the main thing about this type of horror, paranormal horror, is that it does have a semblance of basis in reality. I cannot watch a paranormal horror movie at night. I cannot. It will scare me out of my skin. It will actually make it very uncomfortable for me to watch a paranormal horror if I do not have my rosaries and shit nearby. And I have multiple rosaries. One is my standard rosary. The other one is the gift from Odin, which is used in a different way due to the medallion on it. But yeah, folks, let's say hello to the chat. Hello, Vanya. Good to see you. And to those who are watching on X, hello, hello. So, yeah, also, if you want to support my channel, best way to do it, subscribe and smash the like button, watch the videos, share the videos. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Those are the main ways that you can support my channel. I'm not in it for the money, folks. I don't make any money on my videos. I don't monetize. I am doing this. I could monetize. I am fully eligible for monetization. However, I do not, because I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it to inform. I'm in it to provide some informative value as well as some entertainment value. This is more today informative value as well as entertainment value. A little bit of mix of both. So yeah. Getting to it, I mean, paranormal horror has that aspect of reality that makes it extra terrifying, because you now have to ask yourself, could this happen to me? What would you do about, or in a way, or in a situation, if you are not overly religious, or if you are not religious yet this stuff starts happening to you, how do you fight that kind of horror if it ever came to you in real life? Me personally, I have had personal experiences with paranormal, or personal paranormal experiences that I will not discuss. All I will tell you is that they scared me very deeply, and I have learned to educate myself in the more paranormal aspects of real life and reality. Now, yes, while these horror movies are indeed out there for consumption and stuff, I do sometimes agree with my friend Odin from OMB Reviews. It's better not to watch them at all, because you are inviting that sort of experience upon you. You are creating the energies to actually draw that shit to you. And you don't want that. Now, me personally, I live in a haunted house. This house that I live in, haunted. It is over 130 years old. This house is, or has been, a hospital. It has been a bar. It has been a restaurant. It has been a bowling alley. It has been all of that over the many years. And this house has had its story told. There are confirmed 4 ghosts in this house. One of them is a 13-year-old boy. Another is an old woman. I don't know of the other 2. But yes, when it comes to paranormal stuff, yeah, that stuff is scary. I don't mess with it. If I ever do watch a paranormal horror movie, it will be during the day, because I will not chance watching it at night. I have seen things that go bump in the night. I have felt evil nearby and upon, and I will not be screwing with that. You know, my mom had a Ouija board that she knew how much that stuff bothered me, and she got rid of it. I'm appreciative of her for that. And there's other things that I could tell you. I mean, tarot, or I've heard of Catholic priests using tarot cards. And I'm sorry, but if the Vatican, or if their diocese knew about that, they'd probably be, or that priest probably be excommunicated. They frown upon that stuff. Now, while I may not be as Catholic as people, or as people would I'm not as Catholic as people would prefer. Sorry, I had, or overheard something, but as I'm still Catholic enough to know about the spiritual aspects. Now, do I believe in God? Yes. Do I pray? Yes. Do I go to church? No. I am not a perfectly practicing Catholic, but my relationship with God is more personal. But that doesn't discount the fact that I have also, in college, attended studies of paranormal research. And that stuff's scary, or it's scary. It really is scary. You see things that are on a camera that you cannot understand. You learn how to tell the difference between something that is superimposed and something that is not. I mean, when I was I did photography in high school, and we learned about editing and superimposing and other things during photography class. Yet, when I was in college and I was looking at some of these pictures, it's like, there's no way that these things are superimposed. So how else do you explain things like that, you know? Demonic entities go after the most vulnerable. They tend to feed off of negative aspects or negative energies and emotions and such. Now, there is also ghosts. They do exist, spirits who have yet to pass on, or do not wish to pass on, or cannot pass on. And they are mostly innocuous. They don't bother you too much. Now, there's some stuff that happens in this house every now and then. Something that was well set onto onto a platform. I'm blanking on the word because neurological problems here. Counters and stuff. Something that is like this far on the counter, yet this is the edge over here. Sometimes they'll just end up on the floor. It's like, what? Things that were very stable on a counter or anything that you could put it on suddenly tipped over. That kind of stuff happens in this house sometimes. And sometimes you can hear voices in the house, voices that aren't there, or voices of people that aren't there and whatnot. I've gotten up thinking that my mom was saying something to me, and it's like, Ma, you even here? Where my mom isn't here. Yeah, I could have sworn I heard her voice. So it's like, what the fuck? But moving towards the movie aspects of it, folks, that is part of the scarier nature. It's where these movies, while take movies like The Exorcist, that movie has frightened generations of people. The Exorcist, I do believe, was based on a book, and the book was actually based on an occurrence that happened. I could be wrong, but these sort of things scare you because of the possibility of how real they can get. Not only that, The Exorcist, folks, that movie, they said that the scene where the girl is crawling backwards down the stairs and then spitting up blood in her mouth and whatnot was too frightening for television and for audiences. Yet there is a scene in the movie where she takes a crucifix and stabs her vagina. And they're saying, that's not too much for television? I'm telling you now, that creeped me out more than the crawling backwards down the stairs and opening up the mouth and roaring out blood and whatnot. That was more scarier. I mean, when you see the head twirling and the pea soup spitting and stuff, yeah, that's all well and good, but it's not real stuff that can happen. Spinning heads don't happen. That would kill the host. Now, while a demonic entity's business is to claim that soul by killing the host, they can't outright do it. They have to cause the host to do it themselves. So, yeah, they wouldn't do that. Now, there are other movies out there that are not horror, but also, say, like Nefarious. It's not a horror movie. However, it does have a small horror aspect to it. That doesn't really fit to it because it's not designed as a horror movie. Constantine is not a horror movie. Good movie, but not a horror movie. It's more of a fantasy movie. Paranormal Activity. First and second one are good movies. Scary as heck. They did a good job with it. Scary as heck. Exorcism of Emily Rose if you are watching the director's cut, that movie will scare you even more than the normal version of it. The director's cut has a little bit more turns and chills to it. And Jennifer Carpenter did such a good job that it's like, how can one not think that this girl is possessed? I mean, Jennifer Carpenter really let loose her acting talent in that movie. Now, I mean, folks, again, you think she was possessed in that movie. You would think she was actually possessed in that movie. The way that they have that movie done. And it's also a courtroom drama, but and you don't really see the exorcism until near the end of the movie. However, it's done in flashback. So there's things that happen in between, and you explain from Emily's perspective, but then you also hear it from the courtroom perspective, where they change the lighting of certain scenes, how it's more vibrant during her experiences, where then when they are describing how she might be mentally ill, they tone down the scenes. They don't show you what she is seeing and whatnot. So they will they make it less real, or less demonic and scary. But this movie definitely is one of the top it's one of the top paranormal films. The Rite, based on a true story about an actual priest who would have to perform an exorcism on a fellow priest. Now, this movie also describes some of the rules of possession, some of the key ways of identifying possession. Knowledge of the unknowable is one of them. When you are able to, or if a person knows something about you, is acting kind of strange, but also knows something personal about you, yet they've never met you, or are able to do things that they have never been able to do before. Like me, I am not fluent in any other language aside from English. I know a little bit of different languages here and there. If I started speaking Latin fluently, there'd definitely be something wrong with me. If I started speaking any other language fluently, there'd definitely be something wrong with me. I don't know those languages well enough to speak them. Let's see, in the comment section, we have Freddy Krueger should be supernatural because he doesn't slash a whole lot, really. He was considered slasher because they had him in the slasher genre. While yes, he does also fit in the paranormal because he is a dream demon. I feel that he is more in the slasher aspect of the horror genres. But getting back to the Rite, this movie was good in so as it makes you uncomfortable in many ways. Anthony Hopkins, man. Anthony Hopkins, when the exorcism was going on, truly terrifying stuff. I mean, yes, the digital rendering on his face and such to show that he was possessed. The girl who was talking to the priest and whatnot, the pregnant girl. I mean, there's just so much wrong in this whole situation, man. It's just really terrifying stuff, you know? The Conjuring. Whew, that movie. When I first saw it, I got a couple jumps. There was a couple jumps. Then learning about Annabelle. Now, folks, that's not what the real Annabelle looks like. If You want to know what the real Annabelle looks like? Look up Raggedy Ann. The one with the red hair, that's what the real Annabelle doll looks like. That one's based on reality, loosely in the movie. The movie's context is not the truth behind the Annabelle story, as I recall. However, there is a doll out there at the house of the couple. And well, yes, that couple housed that doll in a way to keep its influence from spreading. I guess the right word would be. And let me tell you something, folks. These movies, as I said, I will not watch any of these movies at night. It is scary. They are scary. Now, yes, you'll have those people who are like, these are nothing and whatnot. These aren't that scary. If you are aware, as I am, to the paranormal reality, you might think differently because these things exist in reality. Demons exist. And I do my best to keep them from not coming my way, you know? The Nun. I mean, everybody always talks about horror icons. This one, with one movie from The Conjuring 2, and then it got its own movie. That one is creepy as hell. The Nun 2, also creepy. I mean, yeesh. But The Nun 2 was less creepy. However, the first one, where they are in an abbey that has been damaged and is no longer consecrated ground, tends to scare the hell out of you. Poltergeist, one of the first paranormal movies I have ever seen. I believe it is the first paranormal movie that I have ever seen. That movie was nuts. I can recall visuals of it. I do believe that the young girl who was a part of the first movie died, and when they were doing the third movie, it was no longer the same girl. But yeah, that movie was truly terrifying, the first one. Especially when he starts pulling the rope and this big ass demon comes right charging through, and it's like, whoa. I mean, folks, these movies terrify you because while, yes, they have exaggerated aspects, again, level of reality to them, that can make you wonder. It's like, what was that? But, I mean, you could be watching one of these movies at night, then suddenly a small little thing like this. That would scare the hell out of everybody in the room. That would probably make everybody jump out of their skin and then yell at the person who dropped it by accident or on purpose, because everybody's so engrossed in these movies. That's the thing about these movies. Another thing that you should all be aware of. Another thing that you all need to be aware of is how focused people get on these movies. Have you ever noticed how focused they get? Where they are so laser-like focused in a theater. When you watch these movies, it's quiet in a theater. And it's not just quiet because the rules say to be quiet. It's quiet because people are focused in on those movies. Just like when they go or watch them at home, focused in on those movies. Like right there. Snap your finger like that. Loudly like that. Nobody will notice. Cane and go like this. Everybody will jump out of their skin. Or if you yell out boo or anything like that, people will jump out of their skin. That's because they are so focused on what is in front of them, they're not focused on what's around them. Kind of like what they say in the movie, in that movie, Now You See Me. The closer you are, the harder it is to see. Because while you're looking here, they're doing misdirection. Where in horror, you're so focused on what's in front of you, you're not paying attention to what's around you. It's not sleight of hand, however. It's more of a malicious aspect. The first Conjuring movie was done so well, scared the hell out of me, because it's like you're not just dealing with the demon, you're dealing with a witch spirit, a spirit of an actual witch in that movie. Now, yes, the family who this movie was based on were rather upset about the movie being made, specifically the mother, who was affected the most. And I can understand that. I wouldn't want my life experiences being broadcast to the world. I wouldn't be like that. It'd be like, I don't want to be like that, man. I don't want my freaking experiences of such a manner to be exposed to the world like that. I would say, do not shine a light on us like that. That's not right. But these movies also have a way of entertaining. Now, there are people who are very much entertained by the paranormal aspects, folks. I mean, the paranormal has always had a rather visceral part, or a visceral importance to the human psyche. And by having that kind of hold on people, it makes them more susceptible. So when it comes to this sort of stuff, again, I am not going to ever watch it at night. I will watch it during the day. Or if I am watching it at night, I'm going to have every fucking light in the house on. You know? I'm not going to watch it in the dark. I will watch it where darkness is less, you know? But honestly, I haven't watched a real paranormal horror movie in quite some time because, well, I find that I don't feel the need to watch them anymore. I mean, yes, the last one that I watched was The Nun 2. This one. And while the movie was entertaining to a degree, there was some glaring problems with it. Writing, aspects that really didn't make sense. Many other things too. I mean, how many times you gotta frickin' send this nun back to hell before it finally lets go of a person, you know? It just, because the events from The Conjuring, where they talk about the guy who was a failed exorcism, took a toll on Mrs. Warren. Well, he's in the Nun movies. So now the third Nun movie, or the fourth Conjuring movie, is essentially going to be about the nun and her hold, I guess, on the Warrens or whatever, because the Warrens are going to be the ones to exorcise this woman or the nun or whatever. I mean, you're also having Vera Farmiga and her either sister or daughter finally teaming up, I guess. Both the Farmigas are actually great actresses, I will say that. But these movies, it wasn't so much just the horror aspects that captured the generations. It was also the acting and many other things, don't get me wrong. But it is mainly the horror, the horror aspects, either mainly or non, they are the things that grip you the most. I mean, Max von Sydow, when he is how old he looks in that movie. And then you see how old he was in 2016, where I saw him last in the the Force Awakens movie. It's like 40 odd years later. Why haven't you aged? You know, it's like, why have you not aged, man? So but then you realize they age them up. They put prosthetic stuff to make them look older. They dye their hair darker or lighter and whatnot. So yeah, those are just kind of cool things that go into it. Then you have that little thing in their mouth or in the girl's mouth that spits out the pea soup and such. And you also have the dummy that has a spinning head. I mean, The Exorcist, man. Whew. The Exorcist. Like I said, they didn't get their moral compass evened out. They didn't get their moral compass centered, because when an innocuous scene like a woman or like the girl crawling down the stairs backward, or doing a spider crawl backward down the stairs, and then with the blood, they say that's too much for television. Yet a girl stabbing herself in the in her private with a crucifix, screaming out, "Let Jesus fuck you," and stuff like that. That's allowed in a movie? Yikes. And then they made all those other sequels and whatnot that were god awful, and I had no intention of ever watching them. I mean, nowadays, folks, you can see a paranormal movie, it's a dime a dozen. However, they're not truly grasping the reality of what this sort of event entails. The closest one that actually did a good job, except for the ending, was Nefarious. Nefarious did a good job with that movie. And it wasn't even a horror movie, but it was a paranormal movie. So that's why it's not up here out of all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 movies that I pulled up posters to. But yeah, the Annabelle doll. My aunt had a Raggedy Ann. My aunt had a Raggedy Ann. Not the doll that looks like this. The real Annabelle doll is a Raggedy Ann doll. And my aunt had a Raggedy Ann. I can't look at that thing anymore the same. I mean, that's how much this stuff can affect a person. I can't look at a Raggedy Ann doll the same ever again, knowing that there is one out there that has a demonic presence instilled in it or attached to it. And it's like, keep that damn thing away from me. I don't want to be near that. Leave me alone. Don't come near me. Thank you. Goodbye. I don't ever want to go to the Warren house because, yeah, that stuff is haunted. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere near it. So, the daughter, I believe, is still alive. Both Warrens, Mrs. and Mr. and Mrs. Warren are dead. There was controversy about them and them folks, and well, I'm not going to get too much into the controversy. I have not really looked it up, but I do know that the controversy was there. But yeah, folks, when it comes to this stuff, this is the type of horror that affects me the most. I mean, I can watch werewolf movies, I can watch alien movies, I can watch monster movies all the live long day. I can watch them at night, I can watch them during the day, I can watch nature horror, I can watch Arachnophobia, one of the movies that scared me the most as a kid, and actually gave me a slight case of arachnophobia. Even to this day, spiders creep me out to a degree. However, I can watch that at the dead of night, all lights off. And I will not be too scared of it. A couple scenes here and there might get me to jump, but that's about it. These movies, though, paranormal movies, paranormal horror, not touching them at night. Not touching them in the dark. Nope. When that sun starts to fade, paranormal movies go off my list. I mean, when I was watching Nefarious, I was watching it I made sure that I was assured by people I trust that this movie was not going to be a demonic horror movie. OMB Reviews, shout out to you. Thank you for that. But yeah, when I see these movies, there's no chance in hell that I'm going to watch them with or in the dark at night. Nope. I have rosaries that I hang around me. So when I'm watching any sort of horror movie that has anything to do with paranormal, I feel safer because I feel that God is closer. So yeah, folks. That's going to be the stream tonight, the Barroom Podcast. We're going nuclear on the Olympics on Society Reviews channel at 9 p.m. We're going to be later this month, me and Jade Shadow. I'm sorry, mixing my words, folks. Me and Jade Shadow later this month are going to be doing 1s and 2s with Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. And the singles are G.I. Jane and The Quick and the Dead. I'm having a hard time focusing. Real hard time focusing. So yeah. Oh, you are probably wondering what the theme for August is going to be. Well, I can tell you. The theme is badassery. Yep, badassery. Actors who did movies in which or franchises and stuff of the actors themselves. It's basically looks at Mel Gibson, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sly Stallone, and either Keanu Reeves or Jean-Claude Van Damme. I will leave it to you because I will be doing a poll on my channel, and it will be a couple day long poll. Jean-Claude Van Damme or Keanu Reeves for my theme stream Ender in August. So thank you to everybody who was tuned in on X, and thank you to Vanya who was tuned in on YouTube. Y'all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, folks. What do you think of paranormal horror? Do you think that this stuff is truly the most effective horror, or what horror type do you think was more effective for you? Let me know all your thoughts. Is it monster horror, aliens horror, extraterrestrial horror, that is, slasher horror, paranormal horror? What kind of horror? Nature horror? Which one did it for you? Which one was the one that creeped you out the most? Let me know all your thoughts, folks, down in the comment section below. You could find this in the theme streams playlist on YouTube or on X, because I also stream there. And yeah, thank you all so much. Make sure to smash the like button on your way out, and y'all have a wonderful day. And always remember to stay humble.
Are you done? Are you done?